Global happenings today. We communicate, we analyze global news. Stay tuned. Hello guys, welcome to Global Happenings today. We have a trending news here for you, and the headline of the news reads: Federal government take smarter moves that stop Amotekun formation in other regions. See details. But before we continue with details of the news and further analysis, we'd like to encourage you to please subscribe to our channel by clicking on the red subscribe button and also on the bell icon so that you get notification anytime we publish videos on YouTube.
The federal government has directed the police hierarchy to commence the recruitment of special constables nationwide, preparatory to the implementation of its community policing policy. The directive on community policing is coming as the Western Nigerian Security Network, codenamed Operation Amotekun, an initiative of the 6 Southwest governors, is gaining momentum. The governors have set up Amotekun to complement the efforts of the police in tackling insecurity in the region. The Attorney General and Minister of Justice, Abubakar Malami, who reportedly described it as illegal, has since said he was misquoted. The opposition to the takeoff of the security outfit appears to have been cleared after the Southwest governors met with Vice President Yemi Osinbajo, the Inspector General of Police Mohammed Adamu, and Malami in Abuja on Thursday. To begin the recruitment of constables, Adamu has directed State Police Command to set up screening committees. The IG ordered all state commissioners of police, assistant commissioners of police, and divisional police officers to liaise with traditional rulers and community leaders in their domains to screen volunteers who will be engaged after passing the screening test. One of our respondents in an exclusive report in May 2019 revealed the decision of the police to engage about 40,000 special constables to complement the conventional police. At least 50 volunteers will be recruited from each of the 774 local government areas in the country. The recruitment, earlier scheduled for August last year, failed to take place. The police wireless message with reference DTO 231704/01/2020 announcing the commencement of the recruitment was copied to Zonal Assistant Inspectors General of Police Departments and Formations. It reads: Ingipo, that's Ingipo IG, directs that you be informed that the federal government has given approval for recruitment of special constables, a step forward to enhancing the community policing policy nationwide. Ingipo further directs all commands, CPs, ACPs, and DPOs in your respective commands to liaise with traditional rulers and community leaders in your respective areas to form screening committees that will screen volunteers who must be of good character and who will eventually be recruited as special constables. The message added that all those to be recommended must be residents in their respective communities and must be between the ages of 21 and 50 years with the willingness to serve the community. The IG told the CPs and the ACPs and the DPOs to study the Police Act 49 and 50 for proper guidance, while urging them to provide updates on his directives. One of our respondents had reported that pastors, imams, teachers, lawyers, journalists, and youth will be considered for volunteer job, but the special constables who will not be armed are expected to handle charge room and administrative duties, crowd control, accident scene duties, alternative dispute resolution, and other less sensitive and less risky functions. They will dress in police uniform but with a different force numbers to distinguish them from the regular corps. Force Public Relations Officer DCP Frank Mba said the candidates for the constabulary must be physically fit and gainfully employed. Governor of Plateau State Simon Lalong on Friday said the Progressive Governors Forum had decided to back community policing. Lalong, who is the co-chairman of the Progressive Governors Forum Governance Program Steering Committee, after their meeting in Abuja, said they also met to approve the proposed 2020 work program of activities and design policies for implementation for good governance in states controlled by the All Progressive Congress. He stated here, we are not talking about Amotekun, we are talking about general insecurity. On the general term, what we did after a presentation from the security agencies is all of us appear to be talking about community policing. For the Middle Belt Forum, opposed to plans by governors to implementing community policing, stating that a regional security outfit like Amotekun will be more effective in curbing insecurity in the Middle Belt. The forum asked Governor Samuel Otom, that's Benue, Darius Ishaku, Taraba, Lalong Plateau, Amadou Fantiri, Adamawa, and Bala Mohammed Bauchi to evolve new measures to end ongoing bloodshed in their state. The MPF National President Dr. Bitrus Pogo, in a statement on Saturday, said he expected the state executive to invest more effort in addressing the bloodshed and massive destruction by terrorists on the Middle Belt. He said, considering the horrifying activities that have drawn global attention, the forum calls on the governors to work towards the creation of a security network similar to Operation Amotekun to arbitrate for all forms of insecurity in the defenseless community. We believe that the security outfit like Operation Amotekun will serve our communities better than the proposed community policing, which is similar to the work currently being done by informants in providing intelligence to the police. Pogo called on the governors to be committed in the protection of lives and properties. He advised the state government to collaborate with the relevant agencies of the federal government to end the security challenges facing the Middle Belt.
All right, thank you very much. That was very kind of you. All right, we want to look at the issue of what the government has done. One of the things that Fayemi and also Keredulu, one of the statements that they made was that they are trying to cure behind the policy of police, community policing, and that's why they had to bring up Amotekun, kind of regional police that will help to curb crisis in the southwest. But one of the things that I want to bring to our notice, that's why we look at the theme of the news. We're talking about outsmarting. The federal government itself they've taken a step that is that will help to stop further formation of any security outfit that looks like Amotekun. That's why they have already given out the instruction that they should commence recruitment immediately. So one of the things that have made us to look at it from that line was the fact that this Amotekun is actually under the payroll of the state. They are also under the supervision of the state. So to some extent, the state can regulate them the way they want to regulate them. And that's number one. While the community policing that they're talking about will be under the control of the federal government. So which means it's the federal government that regulates them. The state itself does not have the power to regulate them. And another thing is, secondly, the federal government, some of the listing duties that have been listed out there does not really, it doesn't have much to do with curbing criminality in this states, talking about interfacing in issues of clashes. Maybe if you enter a place, there is quarrel or people are quarreling, you get it sorted out. Maybe you're walking and you see something like go see something like traffic jam in a particular environment. You try to see how to get it done and all of that. So it's just you see people gathering. Once the two people were fighting, and then you are possibly take them into custody, question them and all of that. But hey, that's not what we're talking about. And these same people that they are going to bring in here are going to be gunless, which means that they've not even talked about them as being possibly people who are going to give intelligence about criminal activities in these areas. They've not made mention of such. They say they'll be carrying out administrative functions and all of that. That's not what we are looking for. And thumbs up to this in Southwesterners, because those guys were far smarter. Already, if you go to the Southwest, they've started perceiving a lot of what they are trying to do. Most of those people also who are in this Amotekun, most of them they were in Odua People's Congress. They know how they can curb issues and all of that. Though they two seem to have similarities. They said anyone who is going to be employed must be a resident of the community, and which is almost like the same thing we had talked about in Amotekun and all of that. But the truth is, what we are looking at here goes far beyond that. We are looking at a situation where they can give the state itself that right to have their own police, not the one that will be regulated by one IG, and all of that. No, it's such that should be regulated so that let's clamp down on this side. They move immediately, not until we have issues. We have to call, go here and no. They were looking at a situation, people who will be neck bend, and they are doing everything within their powers to see how they can curb criminality. We are not talking about quarrel, okay? Yes, you guys are trying to do your little best, but we're not talking about quarrel, settling of quarrel. Quarrels can be settled somehow. It can be settled. We know how to go about. They take people to police and all of that. That one is a normal. We are talking about some of the things that have been happening whereby we do not even have peace in our community. We do not. That's why I said Amotekun came very fast. Don't forget that if you go to our feed, you will see things like, the northern part recommending Amotekun also, because some of them in the Middle East, even in the news you heard, even the Middle East, they want to build up something like Amotekun so that they can help curb some crisis. Not the issue that, for example, you hear cases of Fulani herdsmen have entered a certain place, and you want to instruct that they should be arrested, and the next thing you hear something like from above, instruction from above said they should. No, that's not what we are looking for. We are looking for a set of people who can really do the work, and we know that they are fixing the situation for us. But all the same, it's still a welcome development. They have realized the importance, and they have realized that the state governors are really out to protect lives and property of their own people, and they are doing everything within their powers to ensure that this is put under check. Because as I'm talking to you right now, you may be surprised in all our communities, different communities, not just in Southwest or in the Northeast, in other communities, you'll be surprised that they are little chunks of group who are building up themselves to become very inevitable. They are just like how Boko Haram all started. They are building themselves small. Before you know, they'll overpower the communities, and they'll begin to take laws into their hand without anybody to intervene. That's why this community policing is overly important. And hey, the federal government should review that duty, that job description that they gave to them. It's far beyond administrative work. We want to see a situation whereby we walk down our street, no matter the time of the day, at least we know that we are protected. At least we will not run into thieves. At least we will not be molested. That is what Nigerians are looking out for.
I have a lot of questions, really. The first one is the fact that if one is born in a community, and it's not from, let's say for instance, a Fulani whose father had migrated from wherever he's from to probably it's actually probably to maybe southeast, because they are saying every other region, just to stop Amotekun from spreading, so that other regions don't form their own Amotekun. So they are doing community policing. And I say, okay, let's say this man migrated from Fulani has migrated from whatever now to Anambra State, and he was born in Anambra State, maybe in Onitsha or Newi, for instance, and all his life he has been in Anambra, though he's the Fulani man. Is he not a native of the place?
He is.
By virtue of Nigerian law, 10 years.
Of course.
That means he's viable, he's liable, he's qualified to be a member of the community policing. Yes. That's one. Two, this is going to be a recruitment by constables, that's by the Nigerian police force, which means we can have brother on top giving names. You say, put my brother there, put this name there. That means it may not totally be free and fair.
Yeah.
And there's not going to be, they say layers to traditional rulers. But it will just be a case of some names may not be taken, some may be taken. But if it's a case of, let's do this in the way it ought to be, let's not begin to get others from above, we may get the best hand. 3, who will be paying the salaries? She's federal government that will be making provision for the salary, which means by default, federal government is still controlling the community policing, yes. Which means federal government is taking care of police, is also taking care of state police, yes. Which means whatever they want done, if they want, and maybe there's an election or whatever, the ruling party can decide to say, state police boycott that thing, yes. And they must. If you won't you obey the one who pays your salary, who yes. The one who feeds your family? It is him that feeds their family, so you will obey him. So if the federal government says don't go there or don't go and do also, they will obey. That makes it 3. 4. The fact that it is run by the federal government, a lot of issues will be like the issue of not giving them a special power, special intelligence, and doing administrative work. They are not looking for the level of criminality is very high. If you want to look for administrative work, look for normal guys who will do recruitment. We're looking for those who go on the field and see what is really good. Although they made mention of those who will be on the field, but they will not be armed. You're putting them in danger, which means if they're not armed, they're just special boy. The more work still goes to the police. How many are really willing? There's so many lapses, if you ask me. And the 4th one, the last one I'm going to talk about, is the one that said that they are looking for volunteers, imams, journalists, pastors. They are willing to be volunteers. They should come in. Really, I guess they're just in a hurry to bring out this state policing. But if you ask me, it still have the undertone of the federal government. The whole essence of community policing is to give them some sort of, anatomy, some sort of power, some sort of autonomy. That's the word I was looking for. Some sort of autonomy that will give them, separation, independence from the federal government. But if the federal government still have a say over their police, then they are not really protected. The federal government can still have a say over how they will run their community policing, which means the aim is totally defeated to me.
All right, thank you very much. That's where we're going to leave it.